Hi, this is Catherine with ESLHelpers.com. Today we're going to talk about how to use the past perfect. Many students get confused between the past perfect and the simple past. They ask, how do I know which one do I use? What's the difference between I studied and I had studied? Well, good question. And the best way for students who are learning English to try to understand when to use the past perfect is to only use it when you're talking about two different events and you want to be clear about which event happened first. That's the best way. If you try to use the past perfect just when you're only speaking of one event, it can sound a little strange. So while you're learning, that's the best way. And even for advanced students, it's really how we use this tense the most in English. Okay, so just to quickly review, the past perfect is formed by using the auxiliary verb had plus its past participle. And you have to remember, your irregular verbs are going to have an odd past participle, and your regular verbs are most likely going to have a past participle that is formed by adding ed at the end. Okay, so like I said, you want to use the past perfect when you're talking about two events and you want to be clear about which event happened first. So let's work through an example. So what I have up here are two sentences just in the simple past, okay? She went to the airport. He left to board the plane. The way these two events are stated now, we have no idea which happened first. And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it does matter. Maybe one happened before the other or not. It's completely arbitrary, but for our purposes, we're just going to use this as an example to show how you can use the past perfect to be very clear about which event happened first. So suppose I say, she went to the airport, and then I take my second sentence and I change it to the past perfect. Let's see what happens here. All right, so she went to the airport. He had left to board the plane. So what this tells me is this sentence that's in the past perfect happened before she went to the airport. So in other words, she's driving to the airport, she's running to get there, but she's too late. He has already left the waiting area to go get on the plane. Now, one thing that some textbooks maybe might not tell you exactly is that often when we are using the past perfect like this to explain which event happened first, we often use the conjunction but. So to kind of blend the sentences together and to make it clear that maybe it wasn't such a nice thing. So for example, we can say, she went to the airport, but he had left to board the plane. And this should be a lowercase h, but hopefully you get the idea. Okay, so now let's try it the other way. This might not really make too much difference in meaning, but let's try. Okay, so let's put our second sentence back in the simple past and our first sentence into the past perfect and see what that does for us. Okay, so now we have she had gone to the airport. He left to board the plane. Okay, so, well, usually I want to put my past perfect second, usually, because it just reads better in English. So he left to board the plane, simple past. She had gone to the airport, past perfect. So what I want to say is this happened first. So again, to make my sentence a little better in English, I'm going to add my conjunction but. He left to board the plane, but she had gone to the airport. So again, it means that she had already left to leave for the airport. That happened first, and then he left to board the plane. So the difference in meaning is very small. It's very subtle. All I'm doing is really telling you that she left, or she went to the airport first, then he left to get on the plane. So whether or not she got to the airport in time, maybe, maybe not. It's not perfectly clear here. So I use this example, kind of an ambiguous example, just to show you that it's not so much that everything has to be perfectly super clear, other than the order of the events. Okay, so that's our little review of the past perfect, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.